Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. I am Makeda Valletta. I'm live on my IG page right now, The Body Scientist, and I will save it and repost it to my YouTube. In case you're unfamiliar with me, I have a background in exercise and sports science, nutrition science. I'm the body scientist. I'm all about, I've committed my life to finding all the ways we can take our body to its highest level. I'm very serious about it. I've been doing this for 20 years, researching and working with clients, right? And this morning I just wanted to do a quick video. A lot of you have heard me, if you follow my work. Okay, hopefully I'm back. Somebody called me. Okay, so a lot of you may have seen videos that I did, that I've done about air quality. I've done a couple of videos over the past few years about air quality. And people don't realize how serious this is, right? So I want to talk about lung cancer this morning. So I've done videos in the past talking about like how, you know, the chemicals and artificial air freshener that people have in their homes and that people have in their cars can cause all kinds of cancers, including lung cancer, you know, brain issues, they're neurotoxins. And I can't stand, you know, like also cheap incense as well. Oh, somebody said that they purchased raw milk yesterday and they feel great. I'm glad. What state were you in? Okay, so I noticed that every time I get into a taxi cab that like was foreign, like usually Caribbeans and Africans, they have very strong artificial air freshener in the taxi. And that instantly makes me sick. Like instantly. I feel nauseous, lightheaded, like I'm getting a headache. This summer I went to a friend's house. He was burning incense to try to increase the vibe in his room, in his apartment, I mean. And the incense he was burning was not it wasn't quality incense. Even though he might have gotten it from a fancy crystal store downtown, it wasn't quality incense. And most incense are not quality. They have a lot of toxins like benzenes and phytates and things that are endocrine disruptors, cancer causers, and neurotoxins. And as soon as I came in his apartment, because I had been in his apartment before, and he was burning better incense before, right? And didn't bother me. This time it instantly bothered me and I knew it was bad. And he tried to tell me, oh, that's the same thing I was burning before. And I'm like, it could not be the same thing you were burning before. He insisted on that. And then like maybe an hour later, he admitted that it wasn't the same, but it came from the same store. And the day after that, I stayed at his place for a few hours, even though I felt sick because I came to see my friend. The next day, I had terrible chest pains. Like every time I inhaled, if I moved, if I laid down, I had stabbing pains in my chest, okay? To the point where it started to worry me. I thought it was from the incense, but I didn't know if it was something else, so I went to emergency care. It was really, really bad. And that's happened to me several times, getting sick around that, right? And so it's to a point now where it's like, or I was just around a friend recently last week who manages Airbnbs, and I went with him to an Airbnb that he manages, and as soon as I walked in I could smell the artificial air freshener, and I'm like, because those artificial chemicals, like the chemicals in Fabuloso cleanser, which Hispanics and Africans, they use like the very, like the harshest, not the Caribbeans, let me say not Hispanics, Caribbeans, South Americans, Africans, a lot of them use very harsh cleaning products, like Fabuloso grade, right? And I instantly, as soon as I get a whiff of that, it instantly really irritates me. And so my friend insisted that there wasn't any air freshener plugged in there. And I'm like, yes, it is. And he was like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. And he's like, no, it's not. I went downstairs. There was a plug-in in the wall, right? Making me sick. Okay, so I'm saying all this to say, this morning, I get a message from a dear friend of mine who tells me that he finds out that his grown son, who's in his 20s, was diagnosed with lung cancer, right? And he's like, you know, he doesn't smoke or drink. Now, a lot of people don't understand that there are a lot of non-smokers who not just get lung cancer, but die of lung cancer, okay? I've known a lot of smokers who have not gotten lung cancer, okay? And so when people keep saying that tobacco is number one cause of lung cancer, a lot of people think you only get lung cancer if you're a smoker. And if you look at the stats, there's an increase, a huge increase in the number of non-smokers getting lung cancer and dying from lung cancer. So we have to ask ourselves, why is that, right? Well, you said you once bought some incense sticks that made you nauseous when you burned them. Yeah, I went to a friend of mine's house. He was burning, like, you know, the Muslim oils that people buy. Like in New York, they sell them on the street, but they sell them, I don't know where they sell them in other cities, but they're like, a lot of times Muslims are selling them, or different black people, or sometimes Indians, and they're like these oils, and they have made of really harsh chemicals. I learned this like 20 years ago when just putting a dab of it on my skin made my skin itch. And I learned that those things are made from really toxic chemicals. I went to another friend of mine's house in Harlem, and as soon as I walked in his place, I'm like, oh my God, you know, like I could tell there was toxic chemicals in the air. And he showed me where he was burning that oil. And he said that he almost caught his house on fire before trying to burn that oil. And I'm like, there is no way in hell that you should be trying to burn that oil. That oil is super toxic. And then when you're burning it, it's becoming more toxic and you're inhaling that. So when my friend told me his son was diagnosed with lung cancer this morning, and he does not, his son doesn't smoke or drink, I instantly asked him, does he have artificial air fresheners in his house, in his car? Yeah, he said, yeah, exactly. They market them like they're natural, they're toxic. And the thing is the fact, if you can't tell the difference, like some people are burning these bad incense, like you never want to get incense from the gas station. There's a couple of brands of incense that I think are quality, and I can list them below. One is like sun-dried in New Mexico or something. But what's even better, I don't have it with me, but essential oil sprays, like I don't have air freshener. I have a lot of plants in my apartment. I keep windows open to get fresh air. I keep flowers in my house, like lilies, which lilies emit, tiger lilies, you know, there's certain lilies that emit a very strong aromatic scent. And my whole, like I have them in my bedroom, my whole apartment smells like it. I have eucalyptus. I keep eucalyptus. I put eucalyptus in my shower. I put eucalyptus somewhere else in a vase. And so that is how I get, like, you know, natural, like when I'm in my house, I'm not blowing my nose, I'm not sneezing, I'm not irritated, I'm not getting sick from those fumes. As soon as I walk into a place where somebody has artificial air freshener or bad incense, like a lot of Indian people, there's a lot of stores, Indian stores that I go into, and they are burning, they have the doors closed, and they are burning the worst, most toxic incense. And I'm just thinking to myself, how is this not making you sick? I get into a taxi cab in New York, and Dominican cab driver, get in a taxi driver in Chicago, Nigerian, the strongest air freshener that is so toxic, and I instantly have to put the windows down, and I'm leaning out the window, and even then it doesn't help because it's so strong and it's been in there so long. And you have these taxi drivers who drive around all day with their windows up. And then I know regular people who do that. Okay, I got into a friend of mine's car in DC. He had those trees that, you know, people put in their cars, which are really toxic, and I had to tell him, like, it was making me sick, but I had to tell him because he also has children, and I'm like, this is really bad. But then you have kids that are in this car, and it's bad for adults, but it's really bad for kids. And you can use essential oils. There are essential oil packets that you can use instead. I should have brought some to the show, but I didn't. But if you want to look for essential oil packets that you can put in your house, or that you can put, because I don't always like the incense to smoke from it, because sometimes, yeah. So you can have like essential oil packets too that you can put in your car, and you can put in different rooms in your house, which is way better than having some Glade plugins or whatever. And it has nothing to do with the amount of money you make. You know, I have an aunt in Savannah, Georgia. She lives in a golf course, huge home. Soon as I step into her house, second I step in, I could smell and sense. Hold on, sorry, train's going by. Sorry about that. As soon as I stepped in her house, I could sense these chemicals. And I remember my mom was already there. And I really can't take it. Years ago, I decided that I would not put my health I wouldn't stay in a situation like that just to please somebody, because I came to visit someone or came for a meeting, and I stay in the situation because, I promise myself not to do that, but I still do it sometimes. And when I came to visit my aunt, it's the middle of the night. I'm at my aunt's house. Where am I going to go? And she had a huge house, and all the windows are closed, and this air freshener. And I'm like, and I said something to my mom because it's making me incredibly sick. When that happens, I can't even breathe. Like, I start taking very shallow breaths because, like, even breathing in more, it just makes me feel more sick. So taking shallow breaths is a response of, like, I don't want to breathe more of that poison, and it's making me sick. And my mom couldn't even smell it. So I'm like, the fact that you can't even sense, you can't tell that there's really, strong toxic air freshener in here. The fact that you can't sense it is a problem. It's like not being able to tell the difference between real food and fake food. It's a problem, okay? The air we breathe is critically important. And so when I asked my friend, does your son have artificial air freshener in his house or in his car? And my friend who told me this, he himself lives in a huge townhouse, and he has that stuff in his house. When I've gone to his house, I always have to tell him, unplug that shit, open your windows. He has his windows closed all the time, carpets and plugins everywhere. So people don't understand how much of a source of cancer that can be. Not just lung cancer, but other kinds of cancers. You are breathing, just like it matters what you put on your skin. That can lead to cancer. It matters what you're eating, but it matters about the air you're breathing too. Okay, so when people people always think that, like, you have to be a smoker to get lung cancer. It's crazy. And there are several examples of people that I could think of that have died from lung cancer who never smoked a day in their life. And then I know several people who smoked all their life and never gotten lung cancer. So is tobacco really the leading cause of lung cancer? Then people have been smoking tobacco since the beginning of time. Native Americans didn't have a lung cancer epidemic, and they smoked tobacco. So what's the difference? Could it be the chemicals that they're putting on the tobacco? And are those chemicals the same chemicals that are in the air freshener and the cleaning products? Another example. All these examples I'm giving are from this summer. Another really good friend of mine did laundry at his house. And when he brought the laundry back, he used some kind of scented detergent. And it was so strong, like I couldn't, first he told me him and his son had been sneezing a lot, right? Like his son was there and him and his son had been congested and constantly sneezing. And he didn't know what it was. He thought something was going on in his house. Now he has other family members that live in the house, and those two were the only ones that were affected. I'm at his house. I do my laundry. I let him do my laundry, and he brings me my laundry back, and I put this stuff on. First, I could smell the chemicals from the detergent, and when I put my clothes on, I was constantly sneezing. My nose started to burn. Okay, I was constantly blowing my nose till it was burning, and I was constantly sneezing. And I'm like, dude, this detergent you use, it's scented, that shit is toxic. Okay. And he began to realize that is what was causing him and his son to be congested and sneezing. Now, despite the nonsense that Sebi recited, and I will never call him Dr. Sebi because that man was a doctor of nothing. He wasn't a Bush doctor. He wasn't, he was full of shit. Okay? But I forgot what I was about to say. Yeah, I was about to say, I lost my train of thought. Why did I bring up Sebi? I don't. Okay, so let me keep talking. Oh, yes, I remember. I brought up Sebi because despite the stuff that he would say about mucus is the cause of all disease, that's not true. Mucus is a part of our immune system, right? And so this is why it's important to keep our mucous membranes, like the mucous membranes in the vagina, that the mucus that the vaginal canal secretes helps to keep the vagina healthy. It's antimicrobial, antibacterial. The same thing is true of mucus anywhere in our body. So if your body's trying to eliminate something, if you've been exposed to something and your body's trying to eliminate it, your body will produce more mucus so you can blow it out. The mucus coats that toxin, get it out, you can blow it out. You're coughing because your body's trying to eliminate it. You're sneezing because sneezing and coughing is the body trying to eliminate something out. So I told my friend, dude, you have to get different detergent. Like, you have children. Like, it's bad for you, but for your children, it's even worse. Kids are even more sensitive to these chemicals. And cancer has practically replaced heart disease as the #1 killer. Okay. Also, the fastest growing rate of cancer is in children. I know several people who've lost kids to cancer in the past decade, okay? And it's not coming from nowhere. It's not some mystery. People always focus on the food. And I'm a nutritionist. I talk about food quality all the time. But if you know me, I talk about the air quality, what's in your air. I talk about what's on your skin, you put on your skin. Okay, all of that matters. When it comes, your skin is your first line of defense. It's a part of your immune system. So what you put on your skin really matters. Protecting your microbiome. Not dousing yourself in toxic chemicals. Because toxic chemicals can go through our skin into our blood way easier than when you ingest it even. You know what I'm saying? So, and, like if you ingest chemical poison, sometimes you'll throw it up. But if you put it on your skin, that's not going to happen. Right into your blood. Okay? So this is why I put out what I put out, because I'm an educator. I'm not trying to save the world. I'm putting out things for those who want the information, who want to be healthier, who don't want to be confused by the propaganda that we're always being told. I'm looking at these doctors on YouTube acting like they have no idea. They have no idea why people who don't smoke are getting lung cancer and why it's on the rise. Non-smokers who are dying of lung cancer is on the rise. So you have to ask, why is that? That's not happening for no reason. Another thing that can seriously cause lung cancer is like radon gas. Now, I'm not a gas expert, but apparently there's a problem with that in Texas. And my friend's son lives in Texas, right? And so there's an issue. And I haven't had a chance to look and see if lung cancer rates in Texas are increasing more than other parts of the country. Let me look and see if I can find anything. I haven't looked at that. A lot of times when I do videos, I do a lot of research first. This morning, I just wanted to get this done because I'm busy and I'm, got a lot of things going on. So I didn't have time to do a whole bunch of, but I really wanted to put this video out because just off the top of my head, before I even, dug it even further. And even also the largest population of people who are dying from lung cancer who are non-smokers is Asian women. So apparently, especially in the West Coast, there's a lot of Asian women who are getting aggressive lung cancer and dying. Okay, so you have to ask, why is that? Now, that's how I think. Now, I haven't dug into that research because I have other things to do. I could dig into that research. That's what I do when I have clients as well. I dig deeper into things, but it's like I would ask, what are the Asian women in California doing? Is there something? Are they living in certain communities, or do they have certain practices? I will look at those things and think, why is it happening so much in Asian women? But my friend, his son is a black boy, okay? Black man, young black man, okay, who was diagnosed with this. Now, hold on. Now, when I was in a taxi cab in Chicago last week, Nigerian taxi, and he had that shit was, as soon as I got in the cab, I felt nauseous. I put the windows down. I'm trying to hang out the window, and still I felt sick, right? The whole time. I was going to meet somebody downtown. I was in an Uber for 30 minutes, and I'm writing, the person I'm meeting up with, and I'm just complaining about this, and they probably thought I was being dramatic, but to me, I cannot stand that shit. And I have to make it to a point now where wherever I'm going, if I'm going to take an Uber, I need to leave early enough that if an Uber comes with that shit, I can cancel it and get another one. Because when I sit in there, it makes me freaking sick. Like, it is so bad. When I was in Senegal, I did a video about Senegal. Senegal has some of the worst air quality in the world. I have never, and so does Nigeria and Ghana, but I had never experienced air quality that bad. I've experienced bad air quality in the Caribbean. Any city that I've been to in the Caribbean, whether it be Kingston or Havana or Santo Domingo or San Jose, Costa Rica, they all, the fuel that they're using is they don't have the same fuel standards as the U.S. And it's like you're walking down the street and it's like the chemicals are, the air is thick and toxic. And the worst of it was when I was in Senegal. And so that's when I started looking up things when I was in Senegal and found that the cancer rates in Senegal are going through the roof because of this air quality. People having dementia and memory issues. And there was a professor who I knew there, who was a friend of my dad's, who wasn't old. He wasn't even 40, I don't think. And he was having dementia. And I thought he was joking at first when he wasn't remembering certain things that we had a long conversation about. And he's telling me he didn't remember. I thought he was playing games. After I come back from Senegal and I started researching this, I see that dementia is one of the things, and that confusion, all of that. And they're constantly breathing this air. You can't escape it when you live in a city like Senegal, because I've never been in like Dakar. I've never been in any city in America with the air. Like, we might have polluted air in LA. There might be polluted air in New York. But you don't feel it. I've never been in LA and thinking, like, even though LA has a cloud of smog, I've never been there thinking, oh my God, the air is so thick I can't breathe. But when I was in Senegal, when I was in Senegal, like, you couldn't escape it, because everywhere you went outside, the air was toxic and thick. Like, when I came back, I felt like I had toxins stuck to my nose hairs and dirt for like a week. It was horrible. And then, so it's like that outside, and there's no trees in Dakar. And so then I come inside my Airbnb, and there was some type of air freshener that was being omitted constantly, okay? There was and I don't know where it was coming from. I couldn't find it. But I could tell in waves it was being omitted, and it was making me fucking sick, okay? And my Airbnb host was an asshole, and like, so it was just horrible. And I moved to a different Airbnb, and it was worse. It was worse, okay? So I don't know what it is. People in the United States use this stuff, but foreign countries, African countries, Caribbean, South American, they use it a lot. They have like really potent artificial air freshener every day, everywhere they go. So it's also, you know, the radon gas that's causing this issue. So I haven't, you know, looked to see, you know, that, and, you know, Texas is fracking and doing the gas thing. So that's where it could be coming from, right? So I always say that when it comes to your health, what you don't know can hurt you. And not only is cancer on the rise, but you got an increase in breast cancer, an increase in prostate cancer, you know, and cancer is something that I've also studied for years. When I first went to college, I was a biotechnology major, and my goal was to research cures for genetic diseases, okay? Like cancer. Cancer is a genetic disease. And people think that when they hear genetic disease, they think that, oh, it means I inherited it from my parents. No, genetic disease means that your genes code for that. Your genes are coding for this. Now, your genes can code for cancer or whatever because of the environment too. Things in the environment can mutate our genes, okay? They can turn genes on, they can turn them off, and they can mutate them. There's nutrients that turn off cancer genes. There are chemicals that turn on cancer genes or mutate our DNA to code for cancer, okay? So, and those are called carcinogens and mutagens, okay? And you want to avoid them at all costs. Now, we live in a toxic world, so you can't avoid everything. But why purposely douse yourself in cancer-causing chemicals if you don't have to? Using regular lotion that has cancer-causing chemicals. Spraying cologne that has cancer-causing chemicals. Then, if you're a woman, you might be putting on a bunch of makeup every single day that has cancer-causing chemicals. I'm not saying I don't wear makeup sometimes. I wear it sometimes, but I definitely don't wear makeup every day. And when people put like a full face of makeup all the time, no. And I do wear makeup sometimes, and I put a little powder, but then like I use clays, because clays really pull out toxins, but makeup is not something I wear daily, okay? You have some women who are putting a full face of makeup on every day, okay? Then you might be using regular deodorant, and then in your house, then you're microwaving your food, okay? Then you have artificial air fresheners and you're burning bad incense in your house. You got that shit in your car. Somebody like that, you end up with cancer, it's no surprise. And it's totally unnecessary. You can cook out of things that don't cause cancer. You can heat up your food without using a cancer-causing microwave and exposing not only your food to toxic radiation, but your whole environment for 100 meters. You should be 100 meters away from a damn 100 feet away from a damn operating microwave, because the radiation is so strong and it's damaging, okay? You can heat up your food without that. You can moisturize your skin with natural fats that aren't cancer causing and that actually have vitamin A and D and help stimulate your immune system. So all that stuff is you can use essential oils if you want a good scent. So it's not necessary to bathe yourself and douse yourself in cancer causing chemicals. I had to make this video this morning because, you know, my friend just kept saying my son doesn't smoke or drink. He doesn't smoke or drink. I'm like, you really don't realize that there are a lot of people who die from lung cancer who don't smoke. So stop being stuck on the smoke thing. What are you breathing through your nose? What chemicals are in your internal environment and your external environment? Okay? And really focus on the internal environment, because a lot of times people's internal environment is more toxic than the air outside, okay? Depending on where they live. So I'm going to leave this video at that. Definitely check out my other videos that I've done on toxic air, because I did one this summer with the fires, the wildfires. I did one where I talked about that, and I talk about some different things in that video. And I did another video on this like back in 2018, 5 years ago. So I've been talking about this for a long time. I do work with clients, right? And so when I work with clients, I research and dig deeper into things, you know. So a lot of people have more specific questions, you know. You can definitely join my Instagram subscriptions. If you have questions, you can definitely join there and ask questions there. Yeah, and you can ask questions there, and I'll be glad to answer them. If you want personal advice on different things that's going on with your body or your child, I've been working with people for 20 years, and I do very in-depth evaluations. I ask very in-depth questions. And, you know, if it's something that I already don't know and I'm not like kind of an expert about, I'll do research and dig into stuff, right? And so there's a lot, you know. I'm just saying, like, your health is everything. And as a parent, it has to be devastating to hear that your child has cancer. And even more devastating if your child dies from it, okay? So let's prevent all this unnecessary shit and be aware of what we're putting in our environment, in our air, in our skin, in our mouth, okay? In our gut, in our bellies. So I hope you all have a good day. I hope you learned something from this. If you did, please like it. Please share it. I have to go because I got schoolwork to do and work to do, and I got to get my day started, but I really had to share this video, okay? So take care of yourselves. If you're ever interested, you know, if you're on Instagram, follow me on YouTube at The Body Scientist 81. If you're on YouTube, follow me on Instagram. And if you're interested in personal evaluations with me, you can just email me directly at thebodyscientist81@gmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram, okay? I hope you all have a great day. Take care. Bye. Oh, and also, do you know anybody who has been diagnosed with lung cancer, died from it or not died from it, but anybody who was diagnosed with lung cancer who was a non-smoker? If you do, please share, okay? Because sharing is caring, and you collect a lot of data that way. So please share your comments below, and have a great day. Bye.